In the beginning, it was to me and Gina, basically was it. And our mission was to tell people in churches, the guys that come every Sunday, that warm the pew, to get up from there, hit the streets, take the gospel to the streets where the lost people are.
To be able to minister to the needy, the lost, the people in prison, the people who are sick, the homeless.
The minute we got here, we were for a Pentecostal church, we were having a hard time, but we were turned on to the big white crosses come off the interstate, and stopped here last night, and the folks said we're going to have a service here, One-Eyed Jacks, this morning. That's why we're here.
And every one of you would raise your hand and say, I've been there and I have chosen to do wrong before. And because of that, the Bible says that we're a sinner. And that's the reason Jesus Christ had to come.
I mean, I'm no preacher or religious fanatic, but I mean, they always said Jesus went to where his people were, and they're not always in a church. You know, you've got to go where the people are. You know, right now they're on Main Street in Sturgis.
I believe in Jesus, but I don't follow a religion.
You know, we have people who have come here, you know, that we have reached out to, you know, and we have, you know, over and over, you know, some of them have walked away and then they came back, you know, and then again, and they came back, and you know, the third time, fourth time, you know, that's when they received the Lord.
This morning, I feel like I was changed. I prayed to Jesus to forgive me for my sins, asked for him to help me in guiding me in the ways that he would like me to go.
About 7 years ago, I went to an altar, and I'd been out of church. I'd walked away and said, no more, I'm not going back. My wife kept going. She's a good Christian woman, she kept going. So she asked, you know, kept asking me every Sunday morning, will you go? And for some reason or another, I went. And that morning when I went to the altar, I strictly asked the Lord, I said, this morning something's got to happen. I said, I've got to be that new creature that I've read about, because the addictions, the habits, bad habits I had, I need those desires gone where I do not have that desire. And that morning I got up, and I can say there was a new desire, and that was to serve the Lord. I was a new man. I mean, I know that's, some people may not understand that, but Richard died that morning at the altar. First time ever he died. After a week, even my wife commented that I wasn't the same guy, you know, that she'd been married to all those years. Because now all of a sudden, I started wanting people to come over. We started throwing things, having dinners. I loved people. And that's the one thing I can say, it gave me, that morning gave me a love. Dude, every time I think of it, he gave me a love for people, and not your businessmen that I'm working with, but it was so strange. All of a sudden, I loved street people, those that nobody else wanted.
For me, it's the opportunity to get out of my box and to share with normal people. You say normal people, or this wide world of bikers? Guess what? They're normal people. They just ride bikes, and they may be tattooed and pierced. But what we've discovered here at Sturgis and every other rally we've ever worked, they're normal people with so many hurts, so many needs. And so Hellfighters for me is a chance to climb out of my box, get into the world, share the gospel with people that need it.
That's the heart of Jesus, you know, and the heart of Jesus is reaching out to those that, you know, others don't reach out to. And you know, and in my own heart of hearts, it's hard.
That's what Jesus did. He stayed on the streets. That's where his ministry was, and that's where ours needs to be. We want to tell people about Jesus. That's the main purpose of Hellfighters.